All right, we are recording, and I have no clue what clever Hans is. I, I'm, I'm not even sure entirely where to start. It is just a sequence, basically, of back and forth. Like, the mother of Hans said, "Whither away, Hans? Where are you going?" Hans answered to Gretel, "Behave well, Hans." "Oh, I'll behave well. Goodbye, mother." "Goodbye, Hans." Hans comes to Gretel. "Good day, Gretel." "Good day, Hans. What dost thou bring that is good?" "I bring nothing. I want to have something given me." She gives him something. He returns home. Invariably, he does the wrong thing with whatever he was given. So his mother tells him that you did ill. And his response, "Never mind. I'll do better next time." And then he goes back to Gretel, and this just starts over. I don't I don't really get it. Um, I guess maybe it would count as a funny story about just a stupid child, which Hans definitely is. I mean, the first thing he gets is a needle, which he puts into hay, like on a cart or something. Goes home. Actually, wait a minute. Yeah, where does that even come from? It's a weird story. Uh, Sticks it into a hay cart and follows the cart home. Okay. But then she's like, "No, you shouldn't have done that. You should have put it in your sleeve so you can find it." "Never mind, I'll do better next time." Um, so he goes back, and now what does Gretel give him? A knife. He sticks that in his sleeve. Goes home. It's like, "No, you shouldn't have done that. You should have stuck it in your pocket." Goes back. Goes back to Gretel. Gretel gives him a goat. So he ties up its legs and sticks that in his pocket as he should have done with the knife. Gets home. The goat is suffocated. All right. He goes back again, being told, "No, you should have put that on a lead," basically. All right. Goes back to Gretel. Gretel gives him some bacon, which is a little bit, which I may want to clarify that a little bit. So he ties it to a rope and pulls it behind him so dogs eat it by the time he gets home. It's like, "No, you should have put that on your head." Now, to be clear, bacon back then may have just been referring to like a cut of pork. It may still have been from the same area, but it would have been like a large piece, not bacon strips like what many of us would be familiar with today. Which also reminds me that the term "bringing home the bacon," where did that originate from? I remember what the story is, I just don't remember where it's from. That the church would actually give it to a husband if he managed to go an entire year without arguing or yelling at his wife. I mean, hey, good incentive. Anyhow, and so she tells him he should have had it on set. It does seem a little odd, but I can't understand you put it on your head because it could be kind of heavy. That would be a way to carry it, such that a dog wouldn't be able to reach it. Um, Goes back to Gretel. She gives him a calf, which he then puts on his head, so it kicks him in the face. And I do also find it odd. He gets home to Mother, and Mother's like, "What did you bring?" It's like, "You don't see it?" Excuse me. Um, then she's like, "Well, you should have put that on a rope and then brought it into the stall." So now he goes back to Gretel once more. Okay. Yeah. "Good day, Hans. What good thing dost thou bring?" "I bring nothing, but would have something given." Gretel says to Hans, "I will go with thee." Hans takes Gretel, ties her to a rope, leads her to the rack, and binds her fast. Where the rack came in, I'm not sure. Because last thing it was putting the calf in a stall. But anyhow. Then Hans goes to his mother. "Good evening, mother. Good evening, Hans. Where hast thou been?" "With Gretel." "What didst thou take her?" "I took her nothing." "What did Gretel give thee?" Why is she going with him? I mean, it's like he's never giving you anything. It's like, I'm here for you to give me something. So what the... Anyhow. Uh, She gave me nothing. She came with me. Where hast thou left Gretel?" "I led her by the rope, tied her to the rack, and scattered some grass for her." I don't understand the rack portion, but he's basically treating her like the calf, because that's always what he's doing. He's treating whatever he's given as he should have treated the thing before. That was ill done, Hans. Thou shouldst have cast friendly eyes on her. Ah, now I get it. Okay. Oh, God. That was ill done, Hans. Thou shouldst have cast friendly eyes on her. Never mind, we'll do better. Hans went into the stable, cut out all the calves and sheep's eyes, and threw them in Gretel's face. Then Gretel became angry, tore herself loose, and ran away, and never became the bride of Hans. I do not know what the story is. I really weird. What is this? What is this? Oh man. He's stupid. I guess it is kind of funny. I'm like in the end, in the whole not taking things too literally. But I'm really hoping it's just a funny story and that there's not really a moral there aside from maybe just, hey kid, think about what it is you're doing. Like, why would you think to put a goat in your pocket? A goat is not a knife. And a knife is not, well, I can understand a knife and a needle, since they're both kind of pointy. Both can cut into things. I can't, well, pierce things. That I can get. But still is. Doesn't seem the smartest thing to do, sticking a knife in your sleeve. And pulling bacon with a rope. Why would you think to do that? Bacon is not a goat. Now, a calf being carried on your head, that I can actually kind of understand. Because, you know, the images of, I mean, it would be with goats or sheep where you've got them, you know, over your neck. It's like that I can understand. And potentially doing that with a calf. But then that shouldn't be kicking you in the face. And it's also, is it here or is it actually he's putting it on top of it? I don't know. The Seven Ravens is next. Just doesn't look very long. I know we're getting pretty near the end. But, yeah. Yeah. This is just, I don't know what to say. It's just a weird story. And it's also odd because, as I said in the previous one, and I did say here, it is just, you know, this back and forth. So, I kind of wonder what its history is. Where it came from, that's what the story is. Is just the back and forth, because that's unlike all the others that I've been through. I think it probably is unlike all the others. Plus, I do wonder a little bit what the how was preserved in oral tradition. Now, to be clear, some oral tradition is preserved exceedingly well. I mean, this is one thing we definitely, in first world countries, would not understand this. I don't. I mean, I understand it, but it's like I don't know experience. Because, you know, we got books. What people used to do, especially if they were going on a journey, is they would just, like, all the stories in here, they would actually just tell it to themselves again as they walked. So they would be walking, let's say, hours to get from one town to the next, or something like that. Or even further. They would just be reciting a story to them. So they'd get very, very good at knowing it very specifically. But it's still, I could believe that with some of these stories, like even the last one, what was it? The Singing and Soaring Lark. I could believe that doing that, you would be messing it up somewhat. Either by just error happening because your memory isn't that good, or you're making changes as you're going. It's like, I didn't really like that. And then you change it, and then you're reciting that, and that's what you're like. This is weird, though. I don't know how you'd necessarily recite this. Because you'd have to, I mean, yes, I do know. It's basically all just speaking back and forth, but at the same time, I'm not sure how well you could, how tolerant it would be of any error being introduced. So it does seem a little weird to me in that as well. But yeah, as I was saying though, that is definitely one thing that we do not have in the modern Western world. It seems in first world nations, because we got books. I mean, just looking here, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's make this 12 for an even dozen books right there that I can see, and I got even more on a shelf. Those are stacked up in front of it. That's why I can see it. We don't need, we wouldn't take just like 1 or 2 stories that we would just memorize by reciting it constantly as our entertainment. I can just pull any of those out to read any of them whenever I wish. And by the way, 2 of the books are the Star Wars trilogy and the prequel trilogy. So, I mean, imagine, and there are probably some people that, could do that with the movies, that they could recite it because they've seen it enough times. And I know not to specific lines necessarily, but my memory is good enough that I will actually, just replay movies in my mind. Like the other day, I actually was watching Ben-Hur, the 59 version, Charlton Heston. One of my favorite movies. I've seen it plenty of times. I was very tired that day, and I slept through part of it. But even though, yes, I would have liked to see that portion again, it still is I don't even need to close my eyes, and I can replay it in my mind because I know it so well. And that's kind of how some of these may have survived with specific people. It's just they would do that, but actually reciting it all as they go. But yeah, we are definitely kind of spoiled today, and it's awesome, to be fair. It's good kind of spoiling, in my opinion, because having a wealth of stories is a good thing. I mean, so much that you can learn from. I mean, even just this one book, that there's various things you can pull out of here. There's also, if you take something like the Iliad, Alexander the Great, I believe I saw somewhere he once said that everything a man needs to know about life he can learn from the Iliad. I'm not sure of many modern stories that are like that, but it's at the same time, we don't need one modern story that provides that, because we have so many, such a wealth of stories that we can enjoy. And we're not limited to just books either. We've got music that tells stories, and we've certainly got television and movies, largely speaking film. It is a really awesome thing that we get to enjoy here, and one thing is that allows it to endure exactly, assuming that it is properly preserved. One thing that does get a little disturbing, though, is that what is it? The choice paralysis, that we have so much, and I think a lot of it is also poorly presented, that I can believe a lot of people today, they don't know a lot of stories purely because they don't know what is worth their time, and they don't delve into it. They are entertained by other things that are less substantive, less substantial, less significant. So, in other words, social media. I would definitely prefer it if more people would spend time. I mean, yeah, it's 3.5, 4 hour long movie, but spend that time watching Ben-Hur instead of on social media. Your life might be better for it. There are plenty of other movies too, or picking up a good book like this, like many of those over there. I haven't read all of them, so I can't say they're all good books, and I'm only most of the way through this. But yeah. Watching movies, good movies, better than social media, in my opinion. Anyway, hey, I managed to stretch this on to 15 minutes with that tangent. Yay, me. Anyway, so yeah, the Seven Ravens next. I don't know, and I just want to see Seven Ravens, The Boy Who Did Not Fear. Is that right? Let me just make sure that. Yeah, The Boy Who Did Not Fear, as opposed to The Boy Who Did Not Know Fear. I feel like I've seen that name before, like I might know that story when I get to it. Clever Elise, I hope that's not like this, or Elsie. The Four Skillful Brothers, Clever Gretel. Maybe she does end up with Hans. The Bremen Town Musicians, The Water of Life, Sleeping Beauty, that I'm looking forward to. Dr. Know-All and The Goose Girl are what I have left. Should be interesting. See you next time.